questions that there are.
Chair, you know, you laid out the list of why Governor Bush would be good for America, but aren't you worried though? I mean, he might be the best general election candidate against a Democrat next year.
As the GOP field grows to double digits, which I think we'll actually get near or exceed this week, you know, it really doesn't matter, Mitch, whether you're talking about Jeb Bush, Rick Perry, Scott Walker, who's thinking about running, Marco Rubio. They're all the same. I mean, so just like the pack of candidates in 2012 that eventually led to Mitt Romney being the nominee, this is a group of candidates who support the same failed trickle-down economic policies that got us into the worst economic crisis that we've had since the Great Depression. Jeb Bush, specifically, when he was governor, was so focused on cutting taxes for the wealthiest, most fortunate Americans and making sure that we reduced spending, especially for people who needed the assistance to be able to make their lives better, that it left Florida in a vulnerable situation as the economy took a downward turn. So Jeb Bush's policies actually made it difficult for us to climb out of the recession, and also made it worse when it finally came. So no, I'm not worried, and I don't really consider myself concerned more or less about any one of them, because they're all so faithfully adhering to the right-wing Tea Party mantra. I mean, Marco Rubio even ran scared from his own plan on comprehensive immigration reform that he pushed through the Senate once the Tea Party criticized him and started pulling their support. And so I think it's important to note that the presidency, last time I checked, has a little bit of pressure that comes with it. And if someone like Marco Rubio or Jeb Bush or any of them, buckle under the pressure from their own right-wing political base, how are they going to handle Putin? How are they going to handle the ISIL? I mean, these are challenges that we need a leader like any one of the Democrats running would be, that will rise to the occasion, as our candidates have time and again. Yeah.
Congresswoman,
and if you have any questions, and anyone else who wants to step forward, please.
two hot issues that.
And please tell me where you're from.
Oh, hi, I'm Gina Barroso with TV and Radio Marti.
Great, thank you.
Two hot issues that may come up at 3 o'clock today when Mr. Bush addresses the media. Not all Democrats support the president's initiative with respect to Cuba, including your fellow Congressman Albiocides from New Jersey and Senator Bob Menendez, and some that were in accord with the president at the beginning may no longer be because of the stonewalling that's going on with the Castro, Raul Castro. Where does the party stand with respect to this moving forward?
Well, we're a Big Tent party, and we're very proud of that fact. In fact, I don't share the president's view when it comes to our approach to Cuba. We have had many discussions about it over the years. What I do feel, even though I believe that we should be focusing on making sure that the Cuban regime makes changes, and particularly in the area of human rights and free and fair elections and the ability of the Cuban people to actually speak their mind, the silver lining of the president's policy, from my perspective and from many Democrats' perspective, is that at least at the table with the Cuban regime, we'll have an opportunity to make the case to them. And I've talked to President Obama about this and know that he is absolutely committed to ensuring that we fight for the rights of the Cuban people. And as we move forward, being at the table, I think is going to give us that opportunity.
With respect to the return of Chesimard, also an issue that we've been seeing a lot in the last couple of days.
Let's, if you don't mind, we're here to talk about the 2016 presidential election, and so that's a little bit nitty-gritty. If you want to talk about some of those things after the event, I'd be happy to.
Congresswoman,
yes,
Obamacare, very concerned about what would happen if the Republicans would be there, and also about the immigration what will happen to all these people that even Marco Rubio said that to the children born here in the United States, they should deport them.
Absolutely. And the Republican field is essentially in lockstep on the issue of immigration reform, and each of the candidates for president on the Republican side, including Jeb Bush, would oppose the president's executive action that allowed dreamers who know no other nation other than the United States of America and who simply want to be able to graduate from high school, go to college, or serve in our military and continue to be able to make the life that they've lived in this country for their families. And President Obama has adopted a policy because senators like Marco Rubio abandoned these dreamers, abandoned undocumented immigrants who are in this country, who we absolutely have the ability to establish a pathway to legal status and eventually citizenship. Like I said, because their right-wing Tea Party base put a little bit of pressure on them, and they caved. And so whether it's Jeb Bush or Marco Rubio, that should be of concern to the entire Hispanic community all over our country, because I've never met a Hispanic family that doesn't at least have a friend or a relative who has been in that situation and who deserves an opportunity to make a better way of life, like so many immigrants have done before them. When it comes to Obamacare, we've had 16 million Americans gain access to quality, affordable health care. And again, as we said, Jeb Bush said that the law doesn't work. Well, we've had the slowest rate of healthcare increase in healthcare costs in 50 years. 16 million people have gained access to healthcare. In Florida specifically, we've had the most sign-ups in the federal marketplace for healthcare than compared to any state in the country. So like I said, I'm not sure what Jeb Bush's definition of something that works is. But if this isn't it, then it's obvious to me that he really just doesn't get it. And he supports, like the entire field, repeal of the Affordable Care Act. They've even stopped talking about repeal and replace. They don't have a replacement. They would just deny that access to health care. They would reopen the prescription drug donut hole that costs seniors thousands of dollars in prescription drugs. They would force young people off their parents' insurance before they're 26 years old. They would force women and people with pre-existing conditions like me, I'm a breast cancer survivor, to go back to the days where insurance companies could drop us or deny us coverage, leaving us twisting in the wind, trying to figure out how it is that we were going to make sure that we could survive. That's the America that Jeb Bush and the Republican field of candidates for President of the United States want to take us back to, and the American people are going to soundly reject them when it comes down to who they choose to be the next President of the United States.
Thank you.
Congresswoman Bristow,
Yes.
it'll be all right.
Yes, hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Do you accept Jeb Bush as the front runner among the Republicans and the leader of a group of people with similar ideas?
That is certainly not for me to say. Like I said, it doesn't much matter who